welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about the law of attraction and a concept that I want to get across to you that's so important. If you start to do what I'm going to suggest you do, and if you start to learn these things, it will transform your life. I don't care who you are, it will change massively. So I've got two stories to tell you, okay? And about my life. And one of them is about a period of my life where I was unconsciously manifesting a lot of great stuff. And the other story is about a time in my life when I was consciously manifesting a lot of amazing stuff into my life. Now, the first period of my life was when I was a teenager, late teens, very early 20s. And this was a period in my life when I was really struggling with social anxiety. I'm sure you all know what that is, but I'm going to briefly explain. Social anxiety is where you really struggle and get anxiety around other people. So what I would do is I would drink a lot of alcohol whenever I went out. Later that turned on to needing drugs to be around people because I was very, very self-conscious. And yeah, I won't go deeply into the reasons why that was, but it was there anyway. And so, by the way, at the time, I had no idea it was social anxiety. I didn't have this label for it at all. I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I didn't. I just thought I was really, really, really shy and knew that I was struggling to make friends and have a happy social life. And it was affecting all areas of my life. I just felt really lacking in confidence. So what I did was I saw a hypnotherapist and it changed my life. Like an hour later, I was a totally different person. I've spoken about this in other videos. Won't go into too much detail on that here because I want to focus on the story. But from that day, literally from that day, my life changed and started to change rapidly for several years after that, going up into my kind of mid-20s. It seemed like almost everything I did turned to gold. And I went from this kid who really had zero confidence, was not doing anything in life that I was enjoying. I was I hated my time at university. I didn't really have any close friends, and I was too scared to go for what I really wanted to do in life. And actually what I wanted to do was be a DJ at that time, a house music DJ. And so that's basically what I became. As soon as literally the first few days after I had had this hypnotherapy, I was out there sending out mixed tapes to all kinds of places. Ended up winning a couple of competitions actually. Turned my life around. Actually, within a year, I was a professional DJ. As well as it went further than that, actually. I was actually promoting my own club nights. So, that's a big leap to actually be DJing at your own nights. And I had two of them as well. So it was amazing. And things were getting better and better within my life. I used to really struggle with women, and I started to get girlfriends, and women started to be a little bit more interested in me. I met a couple of amazing close friends, which I'd never really had, not as an adult anyway, certainly not since I was a little kid. And everything was going my way, basically. Everything was going really well until I had a couple of negative things happen, and I wasn't able to DJ and run my club nights anymore. But despite that fact, I actually stopped DJing, sold my decks, and retrained and became a teacher. I actually became English as a foreign language teacher, but I did it in the UK. So it was a full-time job. In fact, I trained a couple of months after I lost my DJing work, got my qualification, and literally got a job a few weeks after that. So I was very fortunate. It's not usual for that to happen, especially English as a foreign language teaching jobs are not common in the UK. If you generally you go abroad and teach abroad, and that's what I planned to do. But I was really fortunate, and so things kept going for me. I had this paid job. I had security. I ended up moving down to London, which I'd always wanted to do, and yeah, I felt like everything was just going magnificently well for me in London. Again, meeting some great people, making friends. It's so exciting, the life down there. I absolutely loved it. It's just what I needed. And I really felt like nothing was perfect in my life. It never is, by the way. But it was on a very, very steep good upward trajectory. And from where I was just a few years before that, this all happened within 3 years, something like that. It was a very short period of time. I felt like I was going places. I felt this is it finally. My confidence was growing as well month on month, which was really important. And then I actually lost my job. I was made redundant. But instead of panicking and thinking, oh shit, I actually saw it as a great opportunity to go traveling. Got some redundancy pay. I had a big amount of money coming for the first time in my life. I had a few thousand sitting in my account, and I just went for it. I went traveling, round the world trip. Had a really amazing time. My first time really traveling. Went over to spend a lot of time in Asia, Southeast Asia, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos. In particular, went over to New Zealand. Had such an amazing time, really the time of my life. And I wanted to travel since I was a little kid, so it was like my dreams were coming true in that little period. I got to become a DJ. I actually always wanted to be a teacher as well, funnily enough, when I was little. And then I got to travel the world. So all these three things came true for me in that very short period of time. Now, the important thing I want you to know about that is I had never heard of the law of attraction in that time. I had no idea, no clue about quantum physics, about spirituality, I wasn't doing any kind of self-development work. So this all happened really because I was on a roll, more or less. And of course, now I understand that I was unconsciously manifesting all this stuff into my life because I was just in a positive frame of mind, and I was on a roll, and things just kept coming to me because I was so positive and I felt so much more confidence within myself. So that's the unconscious period of manifesting which occurred in my life, unconscious use of the law of attraction. Before I go on to the second story, I just want to say this, and it's very, very important, so listen up, because most people don't get this. We are always manifesting, always. Right now, you are manifesting. What you're thinking and feeling right in this very moment, and in all the preceding moments, and in all the ones that are going to come, is creating your reality. It's creating everything around you. Every person in your life, every object in your life, everything you can see in your life, you manifested it. Okay, and you've been manifesting your whole life since the moment you were born. It's a natural thing you were born with, right? Now, most people get this wrong, and they think that it's something you decide to do. So you wake up one morning and you say to yourself, oh, my life's not really how I want it, or oh, I'd really like to meet someone amazing, or I really want to change jobs. So I'm going to try the law of attraction. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to start to manifest. I'm going to try and visualize so that I can manifest stuff into my life. Or I'll try this little trick that I saw on YouTube to try and manifest someone into my life. So they think that they're starting to use the law of attraction. And this is a really, really bad error that people make, because you don't suddenly decide to start doing it because you're already using it. What you're actually doing is you're deciding to consciously manifest. Okay? So all those years and months in your life up to that point, you were unconsciously manifesting. You just didn't realize it. Okay? So you were manifesting, you didn't realize it. Now you're deciding, I'm actually going to be consciously working with it because it's always working. I'm going to try and tap into it and see if I can get it to work more in my favor. That's what you're actually doing. Okay? Really important you understand that. So after this, I had this amazing period in my life. Okay? And it coincided with a big shift an energetic shift within me after the hypnosis. And that is why things started to come to me. Whereas before I was struggling with social anxiety. I'm telling you, everything just seemed to be going wrong in my life. I just couldn't do anything right. And that was because my energy that I was giving out, because it works on your energy. We're all made of energy, and we're giving out an energetic vibration at all times based on what we're thinking and what we're feeling. And if you're feeling shit, you're thinking negative, then that's what you're going to get back. Like attracts like with the law of attraction. That's the energy you're giving out, that vibration, that frequency. It's like a tuning fork. Finds the same frequency and brings it back to you in terms of the people, places, and circumstances that you're going to get into your life. It's bringing back exactly what you're feeling. It's bringing back people, situations, and circumstances which are going to make you have that same feeling again. Right? So before hypnosis, negative, social anxiety, bringing me things that are going to bring me more social anxiety. Afterwards, feeling confident, feeling positive, going for what I really want in life, and that then reinforcing it and making that snowball bigger and bigger. More positivity coming to me, more good things, more great people, more great opportunity. Even when things go seemingly wrong, negative, like I lost my job twice, actually, the DJing and then the coach and then the teaching. It was like it never happened. It's like I bounced straight back and went on to, and something great came into my life immediately. Now, if those things had happened when I had social anxiety before the hypnosis, that wouldn't have happened. It would have led to worse things, probably more anxiety, certainly more anxiety, possibly deep depression. It would have got worse, okay? So then I had a period in my life where things got really, really bad because I was assaulted, physically assaulted. And again, I'm not going to go into big details about the reasons why that happened, but it did, and my reaction to it was not good, and I became really seriously anxious this time. I had post-traumatic stress, but again, it's just a label. But post-traumatic stress for best part of a decade, more than a decade actually, and I got to a point where I was suicidal through that. Locked myself away, didn't come out of the house for years, pretty much didn't come out of the house. I only left when it was necessary. Really struggled in social situations, even more. And yeah, just lost all hope during that time. I really thought I'd wasted my life. And that's what really brought on the suicide. It wasn't really the assault and kind of thinking about the assault. It was more, wow, I've got no confidence. I've got nothing in my life that I'm happy with. I haven't got a job. I haven't got any money. I haven't got any friends. That was what really led to me feeling suicidal. Fortunately, I turned it around, obviously. As you can see, I'm still here. And that led me to a period of thinking how I could make my life better. And things started to come to me, books and YouTube channels and information, which was largely talking about finding the power within you, because we have the power within us to create our own reality. And of course, key to that is the concept of the law of attraction. And since then, that was like 4 years ago now, I've really made the law of attraction my life. And that means I've worked with it every single day. So I know more than the average person does know about the law of attraction. Absolutely, I know that because I speak to people constantly. And that's why I want to tell you this second story. And we're going back a couple of years ago now, and I've learned about the law of attraction, and I'm starting to use it, work with it every single day consciously. Okay, I'm doing the visualizations. I'm learning about what I need to make myself a better manifester. I'm learning what works and what doesn't, how you set your intentions, what you do after you've set your intentions, everything. Okay. Of course, you probably now started up my own blog and YouTube channel after that. And I eventually manifested the biggest thing, probably the biggest thing I've manifested in total, I guess you would call it that still. And that was an opportunity to go and live and work with a mentor of mine in Thailand. That's how I got out to Asia. And I've been, I was there a couple of years. And that's when things really started to take off for me. So again, it's that snowball effect. When you start getting into that positive mind frame again, which I was obviously doing because I was doing all this research, and starting to feel hopeful about life again, because I realized that I had the power within me to create my reality. And that's what did it. It was that belief and eventually that faith in the law of attraction. And things started to come to me. I was putting in the work in every day. And I was now consciously manifesting compared to before when I was unconsciously manifesting. Now, that has been going on now for a couple of years. Obviously, I've got my blog now, my YouTube channel. But when I was out in Thailand, I went there and I was on a yoga resort for 10 months. And yeah, it was an amazing time in my life. And I learned so much about the law of attraction then, because I was every single day, I was thinking of what I could put onto my YouTube channel and document about what I was manifesting and what I was trying to manifest. And I had many interviews with people. So I had all these yogis coming in, obviously. People into yoga are conscious people, okay? And they know more about things like the law of attraction and manifesting than the average person does, okay? That's really important that you know that. So the people I was talking to and learning from, a lot of them knew more than me at that point, and I was learning from them. But really fascinating, what I learned from this was actually that despite pretty much everyone I was meeting on this yoga resort, they knew about the law of attraction, they'd heard about it, and they understood about manifesting in general. Only a very small number of them were actually using it consciously to manifest. Okay. So, and that surprised me. In the end, it actually turned out I was the one who ended up teaching them to get back into consciously manifesting and working with it every single day. So yeah, many of them thanked me for getting them back into it again, and hopefully they're working with it on a daily basis now. But it got me thinking, if these people, these yogis, these conscious people, these people who know about manifesting and understand it, even they're not using it consciously, hardly anyone on this planet is using it consciously. And so basically 99% of people, and it's obviously 99% of people who are using it unconsciously, 100% are using it unconsciously, but 99% of people are not using it consciously. Less than 1%, well under 1% of people are actually doing what I do, which is consciously manifest, visualizing, setting your intentions, working on your blocks and limiting beliefs, that kind of thing. Goal setting, actually knowing thinking about what you want on a daily basis. Very few people are doing this. Less than 1%. Think about that. There's 7 billion people on this planet. Less than 1% of them actually consciously manifesting. Even fewer of them are doing it on a daily basis, because what I find is that most people who are consciously manifesting are only doing it when they need something or want something in their life. And really, the very best manifestors I meet are ones who are doing it. It's a lifestyle for them. It's part of their life. And of course, listen, I'm not saying that there aren't good manifestors who don't know anything about the law of attraction, because of course there are. I proved that before when I was younger, because I was a very good manifester, but I didn't know anything about the law of attraction. So there's plenty of people in this world who are manifesting unconsciously, and they're doing it brilliantly. Yeah. But obviously, if you want to become, if you're having problems in your life, this is a way where you can start to lessen those problems and create the kind of life that you really, really want. That's why it's so important to try and do this on a daily basis and become a really strong, conscious manifester. It's literally, you can use it for anything in your life, any area. You're looking for some love in your life, you're looking to bring people into your life who are positive, and to bring good friends into your life, to bring your soulmate into your life. Law of attraction, conscious manifesting. You want to change your job, new career. You want to live a life of where you're doing something that's full of purpose and fulfillment. Law of attraction. You've got a health issue. You want to become fitter, to look better, to feel better. Law of attraction. I'm telling you, there's nothing it doesn't work on. There's no level of your life it doesn't work on. Everything, literally everything in your life. You just want something material into your life. This is the mistake some people make as well. They think it's just for bringing in something material, like a car or a house. It'll work for that, but it works for everything, on every level. Okay? You want more money in your life. Law of attraction. Again, it's going to work for that. It works for everything. People don't understand how this law controls everything in their life. It's the most powerful law in the universe. Whether you see it as a scientific law, a spiritual law, whatever, it governs everything. So why wouldn't you want to make it a daily part of your life when it already is, but you just don't realize it? So let's work with it consciously. And that's the biggest thing I can impart to you. So those two stories that I told you, if we go back to the first one, when things went awry for me, so when I lost my job as a DJ, I basically gave up at that point. Now, this is the difference. If I'd been consciously manifesting, I would not have given up, because I would have known that what happened is just leading on to something else. But I can still be a DJ, and probably it's leading on to me being an even better DJ. Something else was going to come up. Okay? So that's how important conscious manifesting is. Yes, of course, you can go through life unconscious manifesting and have an amazing life, of course. But what this does is it gives you the knowledge that if something does go wrong in your life, let's take the example of the physical assault. Rather than me having those 10 years of my life just gone, wasted away, struggling with anxiety, beating myself up, getting so low that I was suicidal, that would not happen now. If the same thing happened tomorrow to me, it wouldn't affect me. It really wouldn't. I'll be back the next day and I'll be like, you know what? I know how this world works, because I understand the law of attraction, and I understand that what happened is possibly leading on to something really good, or if it's not, it's just not going to affect me, because I'm just going to carry on manifesting great stuff. I know how it works. I just have to get my mind where it needs to be to bring the right people and situations and circumstances into my life. Whatever reason for that assault happening, whether I created it, okay? Doesn't really matter why I created it, but it's when you understand the law of attraction, you can kind of work it out why that happened. Um, as it goes at the time when it happened, I was starting to slip into some bad habits and patterns. I'd started to take drugs more frequently, and I'd started to slip into a negative mindset actually, and that's why it happened, I believe. But it's here nor there, really. The important thing is when something shit happens in your life, when you have the faith within you that the law of attraction is always working and you can tap into it anytime you want and get it to work in your favor consciously, when you know that, nothing can get in your way. Nothing can. So that's the big difference between conscious manifesting and unconscious manifesting. When you're conscious of it, you're more aware of why things are happening in your life, and therefore you're able to navigate difficult situations much easier. I think about, I spent 10 years of my life shut away indoors with anxiety. That would never happen now. Even if I had a bad day after I've been assaulted, and that could happen. I remember I had a moped accident last year. Really shook me up. That whole day I was like pretty down in the dumps, feeling really negative. Next day, back on the bike. Next day, didn't let it affect me at all. Okay, so anything negative that happens in my life now, I had last year was one of the best years of my life, and yet there were 2 or 3 things that happened last year that if they'd happened when I was an unconscious manifester, when I was younger, would have really dragged me down low, and possibly for a long time, possibly months. I'll give one example for you. There was a woman I met when I didn't know about the law of attraction. I was an unconscious manifester, and we had a brief relationship, but it was, I felt very strongly for her, and the relationship didn't work out. She ended it, and I spent the next 6 months, and I was low, really low. I was in a really bad place. Okay. And I was kind of really despairing about it. It took me 6 months to get over it. I really remember that. Last year, I met someone who was the most incredible person I've ever met. And yet, I was rejected. And despite that, now if that had happened before, I would have, before I knew about the law of attraction, I'd still now be really in a low place. I didn't want to think about how bad I would have felt. But now I feel absolutely the best I've ever felt in my entire life. But I'm not joking. I've found unconditional happiness finally. So it doesn't matter what happens. I'll always have that base level of happiness. I'm like, yeah, of course I feel down because of what happened. Of course I do. And I think about it now still, but it doesn't get me down. It's made me stronger, actually, because I understand how this world works, and I won't let it drag me down. I don't let it drag me down, even though it will try. The monkey mind starts to work, and those emotions come up, and you're going to struggle with them. Of course, I've had some bad days because of that, but I don't have bad weeks or bad months. That's the difference. Instead, I grow from it and become a stronger person, and I'm super strong now. Like, I'm unfuckwithable. Nothing can get me down, not for too long. I just get right back to manifesting what I want in my life. So this is why I'm saying to you, okay, I'm meeting all these yogis and people he would think would be consciously manifesting, and they're not. So if you get out there and you start to learn about the law of attraction, you're going to be in 1% of people who really fully understand this and are able to really control their lives a lot more, and really become so strong that you can weather anything, weather any storm. That's what the law of attraction is going to bring you if you learn it, put the effort in, consciously manifest. So that's what I'm trying to impart to you. That's what I'm trying to get across to people, how important this is. You know, don't just dive into it for one day and then like a week later, oh, I haven't got my manifestation, it doesn't work. You've got to go deep on this shit. You know, remember, you're already doing it anyway. You're already manifesting all the time anyway. So it's to your benefit to start learning how to do it consciously. Okay, so that's what I do with my coaching. You know, I'm a law of attraction coach, and this is what I try to teach people. You know, I mentor them. I help to heal them of these blockages which are preventing them manifesting, to get them unstuck in their life. And then, yes, I teach them the basic concepts and ideas behind the law of attraction, so that it becomes a lifestyle for them. So they don't need me anymore. You know, they go away and they can just manifest whatever they want, whenever they want. And if things go to shit in their life, well, they won't go to shit. Some negative stuff might happen. It's not gonna turn your life to shit at all. You're gonna grow from it, in fact. So, yeah. If you're interested in some coaching with me, then drop me a line and we can chat some more about it. If not, you know, it doesn't matter. You can still go and do this on your own. You know, it's just, I found that the process can be a lot quicker. That's what a coach is here for, to make the process quicker. Because it's not something that just happens overnight, where you become solid in your knowledge and belief and faith in this law. It takes time. You know, it's a process. It doesn't just happen overnight. People do manifest things very quickly when they start to learn, yes. But often you tend to get this honeymoon period where things will really click into place. But then people tend to drift back into old habits and patterns. And so they start to manifest the old shit that they were having. So it takes time, you know, to build these habits and to learn how this really works. But it's so worth it. It's so worth it. And I can't think of anything in this world that's more important to learn than this. Those are my 2 stories. I hope you enjoyed them. Don't forget to like this video if you got something out of it. Don't forget to share it and to leave a comment. Really love your comments. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's Timothy Phoenix. And my Instagram, which is @timothy.phoenix. Come and say hello on my Instagram. And yes, hope to do another video soon. Till then, hasta luego.